One of the things that, that differentiates our type of education from other more traditional education is that all we're really concerned about is helping you as a small business owner know how to make money. I mean, after all, that's why most people go into businesses, to make a profit. But if we look at some of the things that somewhat interfere with how a small business owner might start their business and how they might operate their business, or even how they've gained an education to prepare them for going into business, this would be what we call the silo effect. Now, the silo effect is a term that's been coined to explain specialization and the tendency for people to specialize and get real deep knowledge base or even deep acumen in one area of a business. So this would be a typical way that which people would get educated. They would go through school with the idea that they're going to start figuring out what their major is and what area of business they want to develop their skills for, so they can go into corporate America and get a job. And so somebody might go into learn about research and development and how to create products and develop new product concepts. So they would go through school with the idea that they're going to get involved in the R&D department and then grow in that department from manager to senior vice president or whatever that might be. And then somebody else takes their engineering degree and learns how to develop and design specific types of things that can become patents and those types of things. And then there's also folks that focus on the marketing side and they become specialists in marketing. Same with operations, learning how production works and all of those things. And then the salespeople, how to go out and convert customers into business, and then distribution, how you take the products that have been developed and sold by the sales department and get them out into the customer stores or out directly to the homeowners if it's the business to consumer. And then the finance department then figures out how much the product should sell for, what kind of credit terms that they might need to sell them at, how much money they can afford to invest in different products. And then the HR department is there to make sure that everyone is doing their job effectively and that they're getting their bonuses or they're getting their vacation pay and those types of things. So at the end of the day, the goal is to work your way up in the company to become more advanced in your knowledge so that you can become a more effective manager. Ultimately, senior management oversees all of these different individual silos or these individual departments to make sure that they're all working towards the goal of getting customers and selling more products and making more money and giving the shareholders a better return on their investment. So while this is very traditional, and many of you may have already been on this track, you may have already gotten an education in one of these different areas, and you're a very deep specialist. What happens is when you start deciding to go into a business for yourself, many people sometimes have a false sense of security because they have a deep amount of knowledge and they may have a lot of experience in a certain silo of business. When you go into a small business, you can't think in silos because most small businesses don't have departments. And you can't just be a deep specialist. You need to be a generalist and understand how all of the aspects of business work together. So when we talk about the 6 fundamentals, what we're really trying to do is get away from the departmentalized thinking and the silo thinking and get into looking holistically at your business and understanding that at the end of the day, we have to still take care of and service customers. But we want to serve enough customers and do it with the right profit margins and do it so that we're generating and preserving cash and we're building our assets and those other things. You have to understand how one decision in one area of your business is going to affect the other areas. In the silo effect, that's harder to do because people are only focused on their area of expertise or their area that they're responsible for. They don't always know how their decisions are impacting the other areas. In a small business, you need to have a holistic approach. You need to fully understand how each area impacts the other area and how there's a cause and effect that happens in a business. When you make a decision in one area, it's going to have an effect in another area as well. And you need to anticipate those things so that you are minimizing the damage or the downside of certain decisions and how they have effect in the other areas. So we call that business acumen, is having the ability to understand, first of all, how a business makes money, and then quickly determine, in anticipation of making a decision, what impact that decision is going to have on any aspect of your business that's going to be a critical area. So we hope that makes sense to you, and that's why we're encouraging you to take more courses that teach you about business acumen and the fundamental things you need to know so that you can become a holistic thinker, you are a more rounded business person, and you don't rely on the deep knowledge or the specialty area that maybe you went to school for. You need to grow outside of that.